is Joy and welcome to my vlog. What a lovely day to go grocery shopping. It's just gonna be my mom, dad, and I. Sunset, Saki, and Shadow, so we're just going for a simple meal. Dito ma. My mom's gonna make salad and grilled pork belly, while I'm gonna make pork enoki roll and some kind of pasta. My dad's playing the most important role, and that is paying for all this stuff.
Sabay ahon.
Nablabag ko yun.
Tablespoon of liquid soap of any brand, 2 tablespoons of 70% alcohol, 1
Pizza low for
This is our year-end plan.
Pwede din ako mag-trade dito. Pwede ako magbenta na kaso mahirap kasi ito yung tingin ko yung influence.
Dali ko yun sa vlog ko ah.
Sabi kasi ng mga tao, uy!
Good afternoon. Today, let me take you on a journey through time to explore the fascinating history of dentists in Islamic world.
Boy, game ko palang ginamit to.
It's a story of innovation, expertise, and cultural.
Isa na lang boy. Ang boy!